joining.
Hello, Northside Women. Welcome back to the Northside Women's Podcast. I'm Amy. This is Libby.
Hello.
We're back together. I feel like sometimes we're not together a lot.
Oh, you were with Christy last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
That's what happened. I mean, that's just how it is. But we're together today to do part 2 of our sit, walk, stand. Part 2 of 2.
Yeah. We're done after this.
It was a cliffhanger and now it's not. So in last month's episode that we call it a topical episode versus like an interview. In our last topical episode last month, we took this deep dive into understanding the spiritual formation framework that we find in Ephesians, sit, walk, stand, as we've labeled it. We talked about how spiritual formation is rooted in learning to sit with Christ, walk in the Spirit, and stand firm against the enemy. So we sort of looked at how God's voice speaks to that deep longing, that true deep longing, and how the enemy, in turn, preys on our shallow hunger. So in today's episode, we're going to continue with that framework of sit, walk, stand, and we're going to talk about common lies and false narratives that we as women believe about our identity, rest, purpose, value, all kinds of things. We're going to talk about what it looks like to surrender to the Spirit day by day with those false narratives we tell ourselves. And then we're going to look at understanding how to practically apply the scriptures in Ephesians as a framework for our spiritual formation using sit, walk, stand.
Yeah.
So we're getting to the lies directly today.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Strap in.
Strap in, everybody. And honestly, we're not going to talk about all of them, but hopefully just us talking through some of them,
a few.
Some things that we've noticed, will give you an idea of how to frame it when you're thinking about, is this a lie that I'm believing?
Yeah.
So,
not to give too much credit where none is due, but the enemy is a creative fellow. And, if you imagine the number of ways in which you might, be hateful towards someone or be mean or think something mean, we could spend years on the lies that the enemy throws at us, the things that we believe that aren't true or that are partial truths. So this is just an example, like a few examples of the big ones that we feel like we see a lot. So,
yeah, and I think I have had this thing that I've had to work through over the last few years. I just started thinking, why does the enemy do what he does? 'Cause it kind of just makes you go, well, you weren't created evil, so where did this all come from? Yeah. Why do you want this? And it hit me one day, God blessed us with the ability to bring forth life, not obviously our enemy. So he's seeking power in the same way that we all seek power, really. Yeah. And his only way to get it is through us. Yeah. So, anyways,
God's creation.
Just an idea.
God's chosen creation.
Yeah, the ones that actually have the ability to
right.
bring forth life and create and do this.
I totally agree. I'm going to take that pen from you. I love you.
Good idea. Sorry, guys. Amy gave me a pen with a lid.
We'll cut that out. I'll have Joe cut that out so that I don't seem mean and rude.
I'm glad you did it.
I was like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Neither of us should have a pen, honestly,
and that one
because
clicks.
I know. I was like, it's not going to work. I can't take it. There's a rattle in my car on the way here, and I was like, it's happening. It's happening.
Oh, yes.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Okay, so we're quickly going to go over this idea of the already but not yet.
Yes.
And I like to lovingly refer to it as the gap between heaven and earth. Jesus stood in that gap perfectly, and then he said, y'all come stand here with me. But basically, it's this idea that as believers, we live in the already but not yet. So this concept of the already but not yet is a tension in our Christian life between what Christ has already accomplished for us on the cross and then what has not yet been accomplished. Yeah. So the already is a place of victory and hope. That's where we sit, walk, and stand. Yeah. But the not yet is a place of suffering and despair where sin and death still reign until Christ returns. Right. So because we live in the not yet, we still must operate in a broken world that is
a fallen world.
Yeah, it's fallen, and there's sin everywhere still, and the devil is still.
So we live in the consequences of that.
Yes. Yes.
which
So,
is natural.
so lies still run rampant in our world today.
And they
So,
affect us. Okay.
and just quickly, this idea that we're about to get into the lies, and we talked about the deep longings. I had a thought last night. I saw this friendship, actually. It's not couples, but it reminded me of a married couple. They're just really, really close friends, and they do this like long motorcycle bike ride all across the country, and they do it together, just the two of them, and then they have like video crew because they put it on TV. And they were having this horrible disagreement and just could not get on the same page. And then it all kind of came to a head, and they got in this huge fight, and they had to talk through all these different things that they were thinking and, you know, whatever. It reminded me so much of a married couple because this happened, you know, where it kind of explodes, and then you have to sit down and go, okay, da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's
what
talk
actually
about it.
happened? What's real? What's not?
And it reminded me of our idea of the deep longings versus the shallow hungers, because when they first sat down to talk about it, all the shallow hungers were coming out. Like, and then they finally both got to the deep longing, and it was like, I just want to enjoy this trip with you, and I just want to spend time with you, and, you know, all those deeper things that they really were wanting. But it was covered up. That deep longing was covered up by all these shallow things that just were piling on top of each other. So
good.
Yeah, sometimes we have to work through the shallow to get to the deep. Yeah. So that's my tiny little nugget that I think we need to add before we get into the lies, because they might not be obvious. They might be covered by a lot of shallower things.
And this is a good opportunity to say again, this isn't going to cover everything. This isn't an exhaustive list, but if you connect to this and you know those are there, God will show you what those are. If you ask him, he will work with you on those. So, and some of these may hit like part of it. Again, this is all very fluid, but these are some examples that we've seen come up. So
yeah. So let's get to them.
I'm pages behind.
Okay. So.
Whew. Yeah. I'm already feeling it.
Yes.
As I read the first one, I'm already feeling it.
Here is one lie. Well, really just the idea. So the narrative, motherhood, work, marriage, or fill in the blank, because it could be literally so many things. Yes.
Truly.
Defines who you are. So the lie is that your worth is defined by your role or relationship. The impact of the lie, which it's numerous, but here's just a few ideas.
Some.
This lie can lead to pride, comparison, bitterness, despair, and feeling neglected by God. And then the truth is your worth is defined because you are a beloved daughter of God who has been redeemed and sealed in Christ.
Period.
How does that make you feel?
The last part makes me feel great.
Yeah.
And relieved and free. It just so, when I read the lie, I was like, that is, I mean, genuinely identity type issue. Like that's therapy level stuff. People are doing that work for a long time in therapy a lot of times. And so that's just a good reminder for me how easy it is to buy into that, especially if it's all that we know. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's even like you see it modeled in so many people.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, this is what matters. This is what defines me. And if I'm not doing it how everyone else is doing it, I'm not doing it right. Or I'm not very good at it, or X,
and again,
Y,
we
Z.
have literally millions of models in front of us that we can look at a curated version of anytime.
Yeah.
When my mom was growing up, she always tells me that when they were born, they didn't have a microwave because it hadn't been invented yet. So that's a thing that's been invented since she's been alive. She'll love that. I'll see if she watches the podcast,
because she'll say something.
Yeah. But I think about like when she was growing up, if you wanted to look like she looked to her mom, my Grammy,
totally,
to see what a woman is, and she maybe her aunts or other grandparents or whoever, right? Even Sunday school teachers, things like that. But you had to literally look and follow someone's life in real time to see that. Nowadays, we can go online and see a curated version,
Thousands
thousands
upon
and thousands and
thousands.
thousands of, and not only, we don't even have to look for it.
No,
The algorithm is algorithming.
yes.
It is showing you what is going to make you feel less than on purpose.
You need this. You should be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't have to say it. We
No.
know it. Inherently, we go, oh, I'm not good enough because I don't have lemons on my apron. Do
Yeah.
I wear an apron? No. Do I ruin my clothes in the kitchen?
Yes.
When I cook? Yes. When I'm not getting a pizza out? Yeah. Come on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but when I think about that, I'm like, again, our culture has gone more and more and more in the direction of let us show you what you're not.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
true.
to sell things. It's
Oh yeah,
capitalism.
It's capitalism.
Let's be
Yeah,
clear.
they're trying to make money.
But if we're not really, 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 really careful, yeah, it will get us every time. And that's just one piece. That's not even like looking at, you might have someone in your life who you go, oh, I wish I could be more like that. Like they're so
X, Y, or Z. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're the best mom. They're the best partner. They're the best. They keep their house clean. God bless. We're working on it in our house, but you'd think no kids, much easier.
I think everyone's working
No
on
kids.
It
We
doesn't
basically
stay
act like
clean.
we're still in college. No, but yeah, this could be a million different things, but
Yeah.
oh man, work for that matter. I mean, a lot of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people find their identity in work, and then they
Absolutely.
retire and they have no idea who they are.
Let's talk about
Who
empty
am I
nesters.
without
Let's talk
this?
about retired. Yeah, absolutely. How do you adapt at that point when that's been your whole world? It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
And
And
those
there's
are
like a
all-
natural transition, I think, where you're
Sure.
like, okay, now what do I do with my time?
Sure.
But if you're thinking, now who am I without
right,
this?
literally.
Then,
Yeah.
there's a difference. And I think that's important.
Yeah. And I think the tricky part about a lot of these is going to be, and this one is, that these are all altruistic things. Like, it is a good thing to want to be a good mom. It's a good
Totally.
thing to want to be a good wife or a good worker in your job. Like, those are things that God calls us to do with excellence. That's how the enemy gets us, right? It's like, we can't just go, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just not, I'm just going to disconnect from that entirely.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well, even like right now, speaking of motherhood, and we could speak on all of these, we could add to it, but just,
Right.
I just know right now, so it's August and the beginning of school is happening, and already, and I barely get on social media, and I've already seen, I mean, it's just every time I open it, people posting pictures of here's what we did for first day of school, people doing, look at this beautiful breakfast spread with balloons and everything matches.
I can't.
And I just that's not
Bless.
really who I am.
No.
So I could look at that and go, oh my gosh, I have to do that to be a good mother. But the reality is that is not true.
Not at all
Not
true.
True. In fact, we were watching these two guys riding their motorcycles. Like, why do I keep talking about this? It's called The Long Way
It's two guys?
Down. Yeah.
Why did I think it was girls?
No, it's
That's
two
so
guys.
funny. Okay.
It's Ewan McGregor from Star Wars.
Sure.
He's Obi-Wan? Yeah, he's Obi-Wan. It's him and his best friend, and they just ride their motorcycle. I mean, it's
That's adorable.
So,
That's cute.
it's so wholesome, and we love it to end our day with that. But they are in Africa right now, and they are just going all throughout Africa. And we just last night, Joseph and I were talking, because we've been talking about this a lot. Like, oh my gosh, our world is just so capitalistic. That's not a word, I don't think.
I
just
do.
made it up.
I think it works.
But this idea of you have to have all these things for it to
Yeah.
be,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, good or worthy. And
It's easy to get sucked in.
yeah, and then last night on that episode, they stopped at this house. It's just tiny little community of people with not very well built houses and these tiny little teacups, and they were sharing what they had with
Just
them.
like a sweet cottage.
Yeah, and there's not, I mean, they had nothing.
Yeah.
And like, the babies are walking around with like giant t-shirts and like, it's just like
So sweet.
and they're so happy and they were just like welcoming them in and they were so proud of everything they had. And so it just like, I was
a good reminder.
Yeah, it's like a perspective shift of like, no, I don't have to do any of that. My kids are totally fine. They live with indoor plumbing and
they
air
have
conditioning.
A lot of privileges.
Yes, like they're
That's
fine.
true. That's true.
They get to go to school.
Right. They get to your girls get to be educated.
Totally.
Naturally. Yeah, that's well, and
I think we just sometimes have to bring our perspective back. So that's one
totally
idea
agree.
with like the idea of sit, walk, and stand. Part of that, learning to do that, is to gain perspective on what's real, what's true.
Yeah, the whole
we have
truth,
to anchor
right?
ourselves in that.
Absolutely. And we'll see this over and over, but when we let ourselves think that our worth is defined by anything other than being a daughter of Christ, it will be there will never be enough to fill that hole that we're really trying to fill, because it is that shallow hunger, not the deeper desire that we're really looking for. There's never going to be enough. There's always going to be someone doing it better, having more, you name it.
Yeah.
Really. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that was only one.
Yeah, let's go to the next
okay,
one.
we got to go to the next one.
Okay.
There's so much good. April does
you
so good on her notes,
Yes.
and she puts so much good information in here, and then we just start beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Which,
April,
that's part
our
of it.
wonderful piano player. If you ever see her on Sunday morning, tell her, great job on the podcast
she
notes.
She is the best.
She is the best.
Okay, I'm going to read the second. Let's see. The concept is you're only valuable if you are productive. Already. I'm already mad about this one. If you don't hustle in order to take care of everything, then you're falling behind. You simply can't afford to rest or even let go.
Bro, this is a lie.
We
from
sort
the
of
pit of hell. This is such a lie.
For those of us that struggle with
many
productivity,
people.
we really need.
So many people though buy into and you see
man,
it.
it's
You see
bad.
them, and you're like, you don't have to do all that.
It's miserable.
You don't have to do all that. You are not more valuable because you're being productive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want
God
to tell
doesn't
people
love
that.
you more because you produce and
No.
get things done.
Nope.
That's true. That's just a truth. And I think that's a biblical truth, if I'm being honest. The Bible may not say that directly. That's Amy's version. We're going to just cut that part out. Here's the lie. Your value is based more on performance and how much you accomplish. The impact of the lie, you experience spiritual exhaustion and a lack of dependence on God. You become more and more about doing than about being, often unable to worship or sit and rest in his presence. Ooh. And then the truth, God desires your presence more than your productiveness.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually need us to produce. He is fully capable of doing everything on his own. He chooses for us to join him in his work. He doesn't actually need us, though.
Yeah.
We're not
I know.
ants.
I know. Sometimes it like reminds me, sometimes I just have these moments where I'm like, every single thing that we have produced came from the raw materials that God gave us.
Every single
Every bit
thing.
of it. Isn't that wild to think
Even
about?
this
microphone right here.
ideas, creativity, everything that we think.
Look at me. I'm
man.
so productive.
I was thinking the other night I asked Jeff, do they make a Roomba for the countertop that won't fall off the countertop? We're not going to make that. Feel free if someone wants to create that technology. We don't have the space for it in our brains in our home. But I thought someone out there probably has
created that.
At least thought of it,
Yeah.
But all of those things you said come from the Lord. That's true. He has created us, given us materials, given us brains. Like it all belongs to him. All of it.
All of it. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Everything we can do that's worth anything or that we value.
And we subtly start to believe that it doesn't come from him. Honestly, and
It's
that
true.
it's up to us, and
It's
we
true.
have to do X, Y, and Z to keep the thing going.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
that's true in some regard, but also we are partnering with him.
He calls us to
Yes.
do work for him, right?
Yes.
Like that's the whole point.
Yes.
But you're
I'm
right.
so
It's
sorry. That
easy
was
to
loud.
be like, I know, me too.
I had to switch my leg. It was going to sleep.
It's easy to, and again, that's a very worldly viewpoint that you know, I feel like a lot of our generation growing up, we were working on self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with not viewing yourself as garbage.
For sure.
There's
There's a healthy balance there.
Yeah, there is a healthy balance. I think sometimes I don't want to sound like what maybe my great-grandparents would sound like when they were talking about this, but you know, it can go too far. It can go too far, especially when we take it out of the biblical worldview, out of like when we take God out of it entirely, we've gone way too far.
Oh, yeah. And if we are all very honest, we do it every day.
Yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we work in our
This
own
is
power.
my job that I go to work that makes me money, and I go buy groceries and I provide this meal, and then it hits you. Wow.
Yeah.
None of this was, I didn't actually do a lot here.
Yeah.
Except,
And again, pride. And one of the things that she wrote, spiritual exhaustion, not just spiritual, literal exhaustion. I mean, people are out there hustling. You know,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes it's to make ends meet.
yeah.
Sometimes it is. A lot of times it's to make the ends look like what we want them to. Not really the same thing. But anyway,
There's a church in Brooklyn. I can't think of the church, but I know Rich Velotis is the pastor. And they wanted to start practicing the Sabbath. And they were all like, oh, this is so great. We're practicing the Sabbath. You know.
They say it like
They
that.
made it. I know. It's like, ooh, look at us. And all the people that were practicing the Sabbath, they did it as a church. And
Okay.
all the ones that were like loving it were the ones that actually had control over their schedule.
Yeah.
And then they had other people within their congregation. By the way, this church is like the most diverse church in America. So it's like all over the map. I want to say financially. That's not the right word. But
Socioeconomically.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. And just,
Exhausted.
across the board, it's very
Okay.
diverse. So then they had people coming to them like, we can't practice Sabbath. Like, we literally can't. We cannot afford to keep our bills paid, food on the table.
Yeah.
And it like hit the pastor like, oh yeah, like Sabbath was meant to be a communal thing. So now they practice the Sabbath as a church, and they have people that are giving for these people to be able to take the day off and practice the Sabbath.
Amen.
Isn't that beautiful?
Amen.
And they've been doing it for many, many years. So it
Love
took a lot
it.
of time to like work
Yeah,
out all
all
of
the
those
kinks, sure.
But like, I just thought that was
But they
so beautiful.
wrestled with it together all
Yes.
this time to make it work.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
That is beautiful. That is such a picture of New
Yes.
Testament church,
Oh,
isn't
I
it?
so agree. Yes.
Wow.
And like, what a beautiful picture of like, yeah, we're all gonna step in this together because
Yeah.
we really believe
Yeah.
our rest comes from
Yeah.
the Lord, and He calls us to rest.
And it's for all of us.
and we're doing it together, not just us that can afford it,
that are
all of
privileged
us.
enough.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
I know.
Wow.
I love it.
One thing that I talk to clients about when it comes to like, struggle with value, struggle with like productivity equals value is like, think about people. There are people in our world who, from a traditional sense, don't bring a lot of value to society. People who cannot work, who are cared for every day of their life, people with special needs, for example. Like, if we look at them and what would we say about their level of value? Do they have less value than us because they can't work and bring home a paycheck?
Yeah, we do say that.
Take care of themselves. Yeah. What do we actually believe about that?
That's right.
Because that matters.
Yeah, and that's what I think is so beautiful about that idea that they took on head first. They're like, okay, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
So these people that are making a ton of money don't see it as my money anymore. It's
Right.
God has provided this to me, and now how can I use that to, yes, of course, take care of me and my family, but also my body that I'm
For
a part
His
of.
kingdom.
Yes, and like,
It's beautiful.
and vice versa. And they're giving them value. Like, hey, what you bring is also valuable.
Absolutely.
And we're all practicing this together. Here's this. God
I
gave
do
it
not
to me
have
to
more
give to
value
you.
than you. You do not have less than me because of this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have to be careful about what we actually believe about that. I often have to, think about like, okay, it's one thing to say it, like take that example and think about like, oh, would I actually assign someone a different value based on that? Maybe not out loud, maybe not even like in front of brain, but somewhere
Do I believe it?
in those deep, dark recesses that we know exist. Yeah. Is that how I'm living my life? Because that's what I actually believe. And if so, work with the Lord on that. He will work with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how we got here, but
I don't either.
the truth is, the lie is that your value is based more on performance and how much you accomplish than whose you are.
Yeah.
And the truth is, God wants your presence.
Yeah. He wants you to sit with him.
A million times over in the Bible, he asks people just to
Yeah, the
like
Martha
join
Mary.
him.
Yeah.
Right?
She's chosen the one thing that matters, Martha. You're busy and worried about many things, but she chose the thing, the
look
one
at
thing that matters.
Moses, David, Abraham, just lots of people with a lot of faith and also some problems. Like he didn't choose people who were perfect in their productivity. He chose people who were willing to join him in his work. And we've talked about that through the Women of the Bible series a million times over, that he wants our participation more than us to be totally ready for something. He will prepare us. He gives us that. We don't have to know it all and be ready for all of it. We just have to say yes to what he's asking us to do. Maybe that's the productivity we need to be shooting for, is joining God in whatever he's doing. And sometimes
I think
that's
it
rest.
is. And I think that's like, honestly, this whole idea of sitting with him, like that says it here, our intimacy with Christ will reset our pace when we sit and rest with him.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want to learn to move at his pace, not at the world's, not at the standards that everyone else is putting on us.
Right.
We want to move at his pace, and then we want to walk where he leads us. So, and then stand firm against our enemy in that.
That's right.
So
It does give you the refreshing, like when you're able to rest in him, then it does refresh you to be able to stand firm against your enemy too.
And you will have to. Like, I'm even like, there's that tension, like we talked about at the very beginning, the already but not yet, or standing in that gap between heaven and earth. Like, there is a tension there. When you actually start to practice this, you feel the tension. Like, I mean, and it's heavy sometimes in your life. And that's another thing that you have to go, okay, Lord, I'm giving this
You have
over
to surrender
you.
that
like,
too.
Yes, like I believe what you say is true. So I'm going to be intentional to walk at your pace, even if I feel pressure to walk faster than that.
Yeah, and you will.
And you will. That's what I'm saying. There is a tension
Society
there.
goes, not enough.
Hey,
You're not just that
let's
you're not
go.
doing enough. You're not enough.
Yeah.
A million times over.
Okay, this one's fun.
Looking at the time, I shouldn't.
Are we okay?
This one, we're 9:30, so we're gonna have to
Speed it up.
plot speed. Do you think of that episode of Everybody? Not Everybody Loves Raymond. I Love Lucy, with the chocolates. Speed her up.
God.
I don't know why. Okay.
Okay.
The next one. Your worth is in your beauty.
We've talked about this before.
We got problems on that. I cannot. Okay, let me read through this. It's just all of these step on every toe. The lie. Your beauty is what makes you valuable to God, and his love for you is directly tied to your appearance.
I would add, makes you valuable to God and others.
To anyone.
Yeah.
I agree, because I think that's most commonly how I feel it. The impact of the lie, you begin to measure yourself by mirrors and comparisons to others' standards. You begin to put all your time and effort into cultivating your appearance rather than your heart. You put conditions on God's love for you and begin to see his love as shallow instead of deep and unconditional. And then the truth is, God's love is unconditional, and your value is because of who you are in him. Which certainly umbrella covers what other people think about what you look like too.
Oh, for sure. It starts with him, but that will bleed over into how other people.
Certainly.
And that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
When you really are rooted in I'm a daughter of his, and he loves me unconditionally.
Right.
He created me. All of this business is his doing. You know, like it's, and honestly, it matters so small in the grand scheme of things.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's just, well, and again, if we go back to, you know, I think for me at least, there's a whole like set of generations where it was like, you know, you are expected to be so
things.
sorry,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of prim and proper, right? And then the next wave of that sort of took over in like a horrific, like it was a drop in the bucket then, and now the ocean is social media.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you can look like this while you cook. I'm like, if you're not sweating buckets while you're cooking and got flour everywhere
Yeah.
and your hair's a mess and the dog is barking, then we can't be friends. I'm sorry. That
You
I don't
can.
understand.
Then Amy's judging you.
I am not judging you. I just can't comprehend it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make rational sense to my brain.
Yeah, but you can understand how people believe that lie.
Absolutely.
For
Because
me,
I
at
believe
this
it
point,
too.
It just kind of breaks my heart.
I know, but I find myself,
Yeah.
pieces of me still
Oh,
believe those
100%.
things.
Oh, 100%.
Because there's also a whole realm of social media that's like, I'm such a mess. But they're not. Like, that's the cute thing.
They're not
It's
actually.
kind of like when I said I had a meltdown and I was like, that makes it sound cuter than it was. It was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a whole side that's like sort of self-deprecating, but in the cutest way. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not better. That's not better, because my mess is not cute. My reality a lot of times is not cute, period. It's definitely not. So I still think there's this, it's very nuanced sometimes to make us feel less than constantly.
We might have to cut this. It's in my brain, and I
we go.
feel like I need to say it.
Let's hit it.
But like a secondary, maybe it's not even secondary, but just something that comes from believing this lie is that idea. I've heard it a lot. Still trying to find the scripture that backs it. But that idea that when you show up to church, you need to be wearing the best clothes you have.
Doesn't say that in scripture anywhere that you've found?
Especially not in the New Testament. Because the New Testament is very,
Come as you are.
don't adorn yourselves outwardly.
Right.
I like, Paul's very specific about that.
Yeah, not just come as
Don't
you are,
put
but
on your
like
pearls.
specifically
Don't braid your
don't
hair.
do that.
Let it be your heart that
What it
people
is.
see.
Yeah.
I mean, he specifically says that. I wish I could remember the verses, like exactly. But that, it's just in my brain. I can't remember the reference.
We are the world. I'm enjoying this podcast episode immensely. We're not going to cut that
So
out.
that's a
It
tough
stays
one
in.
for me. I've been really struggling with that because I feel like it's a lie that we've just subtly let shape. And it really does bug me sometimes because I'm like, okay, so Sunday morning I wear my dress, and that is what God wants from me. That's when I'm meeting with Him at my best, and that matters. Are we cutting this out?
No! I'm into
just like,
it.
I meet with Him in my sweatpants before I even
Of course
come
you
here.
do. The reality
is this
is it's
different?
much
What's
more
different?
tradition than it is biblical, right?
I think it is.
Which there's nothing inherently wrong with tradition, but at some point we have to stop ourselves and ask, is that actually... It's not that you can't wear your dress. That's fine. That's not the point.
I'm totally down for that.
The point is not don't wear your dress and wear your sweatpants instead. The point is that is not what matters.
Yep. Because the lie that's tied to it is I have to do these things. I have to get totally dressed, look the best I possibly can to then go meet with God in worship.
Right.
That
Which is
a
really,
lie.
that's not it though, is it? It's I have to look the best I can to go to church.
Because other people will
That's
see
the
me.
lie. If it was only you and God here at the church and you knew you'd be the only one here, would you still dress to the nines?
Well, I think that's both. Some
Maybe,
people
yeah.
really believe that, and then other
Absolutely,
people
maybe
do
so.
it because they feel that's the expectation, and
what's
other people are going to
supposed to
see me,
happen.
and this is what I have to do
Sure.
to show up to church.
Just
It's just
check
a
that,
subtle lie
just
that goes
check
with
that.
this one.
Yeah, just check that part of your heart, right? That's all. It's not even to say don't wear your dress or wear your sweatpants
I'm
only.
not
I'm
saying
coming
that.
in. I'm coming in. But I will say, as someone who sweats through her clothes in August, like Maybe I'll just wear my shorts on Sunday.
Yeah. I do like, I mean, I'm not knocking looking nice, but this has just been something as our women's minister, I hear on a regular basis, and people are upset about it. Like, why wouldn't she wear her best clothing? And I'm like,
oh, people say that about other people. Mm-hmm. Oh.
And I'm just like, that is a lie.
That doesn't matter.
We don't need to believe that, because it leads to all kinds of other things that we believe.
Well, it's problematic in a lot of ways, not the least of which is who gets to decide what someone's best clothing is. That's really privileged point of view.
Yes.
Anyway, but it's a hard issue, clearly, right?
Deep down, it's a hard issue.
It is. It is. And again, there's nothing, I have a lot of respect for people who choose that, especially if that's what they're choosing because that's what they feel is most honoring to God for some reason in their own heart. But you're right. I don't see that modeled biblically in the New Testament church, particularly. The opposite. I do sometimes think about like the Esthers. I'm like, was she? I mean, I think of Queen Esther, a queen, and I'm like, oh, so proper. And I'm like, that girl was, that she was a leathery, fun gal. That's all. I listen.
Yeah.
She could take some stuff. That's all I'm saying. She could take some stuff.
Yeah. So that's subtle.
We gotta move. We have to move on, don't we?
Yeah. It's something that's real, and it's
very.
Something I want to speak to because I think too many people believe it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
I do. I'm glad you said it.
Just show up here no matter what you look like, because our idea of beauty is covered up by makeup anyways. I don't think God wanted us to paint our face.
Check your heart. That's what don't do this or don't wear that, but check your heart before you, Amen. Make sure that that's the most important thing when you're coming to church. Check your heart more than checking the mirror.
Yeah. And yes.
I can say it. I'm not checking the mirror, people. It was it has been have you heard the saying, the back of my hair is none of my business?
No, but I love it. That is how I live my life.
That kind of day today for me. I was like, oh, I did my hair, and then nope, we're done.
I love it.
Done. Okay, we're gonna run through a few of these really quickly, and we're not gonna stop on some of them. I'm just telling you that now. We only have 2 left.
You decide.
The next one is you have to be perfect to be loved by God. I mean, hopefully we have some concept that this isn't true based on, the work of salvation.
Subtly believe it. Yeah.
So the lie is God's love for you is tied to your performance, and if you mess up, he will love you less, or even worse, stop loving you altogether.
Not true.
The opposite, I think we can also believe sometimes, which is if I'm good and doing better, then he will love me more.
Yep.
That he's capable of loving me more than he already does and chooses not to.
Which is why they are tied together, I think. Yeah. Because when we're checking all the boxes and doing all the things right, we feel loved by him, and we're like, yes, we're
absolutely.
And then if we start falling behind, then we beat ourselves up and we think, oh, he's so disappointed in me. He doesn't love me as much as when I was doing those things.
Right. Yeah. And I think this is very based on human love.
I agree.
We don't really know how to do unconditional love as humans. We do our best.
We're still learning.
And some people do really, really, they're so close, but it's never going to be what God has for us. It's never going to be close.
Yeah, I agree.
The impact of the lie is believing this lie can lead to shame and guilt, trying to earn God's approval rather than resting in his grace. You often hide from God when you fail, and you live in constant fear of never measuring up. My goodness. The truth, God's love is freely given, no strings attached because of his grace and work on the cross. That's the truth. Okay. Last one. Maybe we can camp out here for a minute. You are too broken or sinful for God to use. The lie. Your past disqualifies you, and your brokenness keeps you stuck from letting God do anything through you. The impact of the lie. This lie can keep you stuck in shame of the past and often doesn't allow you to embrace the things God has for you to do. The truth. God's grace is what qualifies you. Thank you, Lord. Mm-hmm. Because even when I read this, your past disqualifies you. Sometimes I think, my present too. Because
Oh yeah, I know.
when
It's
the
not
moment
even
of
just your
salvation
past.
is not like everything is gone, it is a new perspective, it is an eternal life, but sinful nature can still follow us around in so many ways and show up in so many ways now, and I think that often makes people feel disqualified to do God's work. I know it does for me.
It does for probably a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you want to walk in grace, but you almost have to learn to do.
That was adorable.
You almost have to learn to do it.
Yeah, you
we
do.
are losing
It is it's a practice, right? It's a practice to walk with Him in grace.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
learn how to
believing.
give some of that to yourself. Isn't it amazing that we can only conceptually receive grace from the God of the universe, but we cannot forgive ourselves or give grace to ourselves?
That's
Like,
usually
who
the
are
hardest
we?
part. I know.
Who are we to decide that?
I know. It's so
Get
weird.
in front of the Lord and let Him show you how to do that, because who are we?
To decide we're not worthy.
I had a therapist one time years ago. She would say, like, basically, it's one, you can give grace to everyone else, or you can like let everyone else off the hook, but you can't yourself. And she said, "What makes you so special?" She meant it. I know what she meant, but I was like, "Oh, that's rude." I still think about it. I mean, it's been well over a decade, and I think, yeah, that is so true. If God can find the grace for me and forgive me, why do I? What do I think I'm going to accomplish
You
by
don't
holding
believe it.
on to that?
Yeah.
Like, do I think if I let go of that God's going to be like, "You're prideful," or I'm just going to stumble all the way through it? It can be scary, but
Yeah.
if God has it for you, have it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, believe Him.
Yeah.
And walk in it.
Believe Him.
Yeah.
That's a good way to say that.
Yeah. That's how Jesus said it.
My goodness.
Repent and believe.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I'm going to do this. Why don't you do this closing?
Okay. You're done.
I've run out of things that make sense.
Okay. So to close, we just covered a lot. We know, and guess
close.
what? We skipped over a lot.
We
so
did.
It's a lot.
These are just the
but
concepts, the big concepts.
They're the big concepts, and we can learn to sit with Him, to walk with Him, and to stand firm.
Stand against the enemy.
Okay, so the enemy, speaking of, has one goal, and that is to keep us chained in lies so we become spiritually powerless. He's after faith. So he can easily paralyze us, and oftentimes we don't even realize it. But don't let that discourage you. There's an amazing hope that is found in the nature and truth of who God is and who we are in Him. We are not defined by what we do or how much we have or blah, 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 fill in the blank. We are not defined by our beauty, perfection, or even our past and brokenness. We are defined by who we belong to, and that is Christ. We are loved, we are chosen, we are forgiven, we are empowered, we are set free. We are daughters of the King and sons, if you're listening. And warriors of the truth.
There you go.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah. So if you want to see an amazing biblical portrait of who God is and who we are in Him, just listen to His own words about Himself in the Bible.
April wrote Genesis through Revelation.
Yeah, it's true.
Adorable. With a smiley face at the end,
Yeah,
which is
she's
the
cute.
cutest.
Okay, and then we end it with Ephesians 6:14. Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth.
Ooh, that belt of truth. She's important. She keeps up the pants of confusion.
Well,
no,
you
that's
can't
not right.
understand the lies if you don't have truth to combat
Absolutely.
them. So
yeah. Well,
that's
they'll
part of
just
the
take over
important-
your life slowly and without
Or
your
even-
knowledge, right?
Or even maybe you were just born right on into them and have
Sure.
been built to believe a million
Absolutely.
lies. I think sometimes about that, people that come to know Christ later in life. It's almost like you need to welcome them and be like,
Here we go.
It's a journey.
Yeah, it is a journey.
It's a journey
It
of
totally
uncovering
is.
lies
Yeah,
with truth
true.
and learning to walk in them.
it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Sit, Walk, Stand Part 2 of 2.
And we're done.
So we're done with that.
Yeah.
And we'll be, I don't really remember what's next.
Any emails that you have to send me if you disagree with me. I'm sorry.
I want to be part of it too,
We
though.
can talk about
I'm
it.
here for it.
We could talk about
I'm
it.
totally here for it. I think we both say some things that people are going to be like, meh.
Yeah.
And
You
that's
don't have
fine.
to believe me. Listen, we can disagree.
That's totally
we
fine.
Can totally I'm working through half the things I talk about on these podcasts, so I'm not even totally convinced.
You're
but
not
I'm
totally
working
there
through it.
yet? You haven't arrived entirely? Okay.
No,
yeah,
I'm
me
still
neither.
in process
okay.
here.
Hopefully that's true
I'm
of
like
all
the
of
rainbow
us.
wheel on Apple, just constantly spinning.
Eventually I'll update.
The
Eventually.
rainbow wheel. That's
Okay. Well, happy August. Happy back to school. You won't see this till Monday, but I think everybody will be back in school by then,
Yeah.
pretty much. And
Hopefully everything went smooth, but if not, you're still loved.
if
It's all right.
everything didn't go smooth, you are as loved as
That's
anyone
right.
for whom
not
everything
even
went
just
smooth.
Still loved. You were loved the whole time.
It couldn't go smoother and you'd be loved more. That's the good news. It's
Amen.
all equal.
Amen.
Okay, we love you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.